Here we have the Hyperbase FC. Over 53,000 games built into this. So this sounds quite interesting. So it supports PS1, PSP, N64, DC, MD, MAME, GBA, SFC, SNES, etc. So we'll take a quick look around the box and then we'll get it unboxed and we'll give it a test. It's got a bit of info there. So it's got the Hyperbase FC in the box, TF card or micro SD card if you like, hard disk, game controllers, power plug, HDMI cable and a user manual. Rear interface, got the TF slot or micro SD, HDMI, LAN and DC, direct current. Front interface, USB 1, USB 2, assuming for the controllers. See what else on the box. Plug and play, dual system, 70 plus emulators. Supports add-in games, supports multiplayer, supports 20 plus languages. It's got a classic retro design, which is inspired by the Famicom. So let's get it open. Okay, so we've got some PS3 style controllers in the top here. Sound a bit rattly. It's a bit strange. We'll just open one up, see if we can find out why. So we'll just take the back off the controller. See why it's rattling. So we've got the wireless receiver just stored in the back of there. So you'll see there it takes 2 AAA batteries. So shame it's not rechargeable, but you can't have everything at this price. So just pop that back on. Controller feels a bit light, but it will do because it ain't got any batteries in it. But it feels fairly robust. All the buttons seem to have a nice feel to them. There's an on-off switch down there. Make sure you switch that off if you don't want to waste your battery. Second controller, same again. Just move those to the side. Got the Hyperbase itself. Have a look at that in a moment. Got another box within a box. Hopefully some accessories in there. We'll also take a look at that in a moment. And we've just got bit of an instruction manual for the game pads, so just how to use them basically. Not much to that. Put that in the box, and then we've just got a bit of a quick start. Pause if you want to read all that. So I've noticed runs emulation, nice. And then pause if you want to read the other side. Let's have a look in this wonderful box of what should be accessories. So, there's quite a bit to come out of here. Just pour all that out. So UK plug I've got for this one, because this is a UK version. You'll obviously get whichever region you are in with the device when you buy it. And there's an inline switch, which is quite handy. And we've got HDMI. Got about 1,000 of those. Media remote. So I understand that you can actually use Android on this, so you don't have to boot from the SD card. So you've got the option really. We'll have a look into that in just a moment. And then finally, in this box of accessories, anyone who has repaired laptops or upgraded laptops will notice that this is a laptop hard drive, and it appears as though possibly this slots in the top of the Hyperbase. We will also look at that in just a moment. Console itself, nice retro look to it. So these buttons seem to do something, not sure what, but we'll soon find out. And then we do lift the lid there. If you look in there, you can see that the hard drive will slot in there, and I'm assuming it'll read from there. On the front, USB and power LED, and also IR blaster, or receiver rather. On the underneath, not much going on. On the back, we've got the micro SD card, which is already pre-installed, the HDMI slot, LAN, and direct current. So we'll just try and put this in. So those are lined up. And that slots in quite nicely. Be interesting to see if you could upgrade this. I'm assuming you can. There's just a couple of screws on there, so don't see why you wouldn't be able to. So you can potentially change what ROMs are on this, or indeed have multiple ones of these, and then you can swap based on what system you want to swap with. Let's fire it up. So as we can see, it's booting into emulation. I brought the resolution down, so don't be alarmed if it does appear low. I've reduced it down to 720p just because my PC is not amazing at encoding 1080p on the fly. So let's have a look through, see what we get on here. So all games got just over 53,000, 53,015. Very nice. So we've got Amstrad CPC, Amstrad GX 4000, Arcade, MAME, Atari 2600, Atari 800, Atari 5200, Atari ST, Atari 7800, Atari Lynx, WonderSwan, WonderSwan Color, Capcom PlaySystem 1, Capcom PlaySystem 2, and Capcom PlaySystem 3, ColecoVision, Commodore VIC-20, Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga, VideoPack, Odyssey 2, Intellivision, MSX, MSX2, Vectrex, Super Nintendo CD, PC Engine CD-ROM 2, SuperGrafx, TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx 16 CD, PCFX, Game & Watch, nice, Nintendo Famicom. So this is the design that this console is supposed to look like, obviously slightly different. Nintendo Entertainment System, NES Hacks, Famicom Disk System, Game Boy Hacks, Super Famicom, Super Nintendo Hacks, Virtual Boy, N64, Game Boy Color Hacks, Game Boy Advance Hacks, Pokemon Mini, Nintendo DS, 3DO, Open Beats of Rage, Atomic Wave, SG-1000, Sega Master System, Mega Drive, Sega Genesis Hacks, Game Gear Hacks, Mega Drive again, Mega Drive 32X, Mega CD, Dreamcast, Naomi, Sharp 68000, Sinclair ZX81, Sinclair ZX Spectrum, Neo Geo CD, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, PlayStation, PSP Minis, Supervision, and there we go, back to the start. Plenty to go out there, so we'll start off with something easy to emulate. So we'll take a look at Master System emulation. I had a Master System as a kid and I loved it, particularly Alex Kidd, so we'll take a quick look at that. So once you go into the system, you can see there's some cover art for each of the games. Alex Kidd does begin with A, so fairly quick to find. But let's say we wanted to find, for example, Hang On. There is a search function, so just go into that. And with the on-screen keyboard, you can start typing. So I type hang, and there we go. So we've got it there a couple of times. Nice. But we'll go back to Alex Kidd. So if I go back into search, and you can delete using shoulder buttons, and it does leave you where you are, but you can use the shoulder buttons to scroll fairly quickly through, and we're back at the top. So Alex Kidd in Miracle World built in. That was what it was all about when I was a kid. Nice to see Alex Kidd in Miracle World 2 actually. That's a brilliant reimagining of the original Alex Kidd. Never played that then, I'd suggest you do so. But we'll go into the original Alex Kidd in Miracle World for this demonstration. It's a nice little transition there where it zooms into the artwork. Emulation seems pretty steady away here. No issues, but wouldn't really expect any. you want to get out of a game, just hold down select and start at the same time, and then do it for a second time, and it will take you back to the screen you were previously on. Next up, we will have a look at Virtua Racing on the Mega Drive or Genesis. So recently reviewed the Mega Drive Mini 2 that has this game on it, so it'll be interesting to see how much different this is. It's quite nice, not much different to the Mega Drive Mini 2, but that is obviously an official Sega product. This plays quite nice, no complaints really. Oof, always crash on that corner. So I think we should give this something a little bit more challenging. These games are obviously going to be very easy to emulate, so we'll ramp it up a little bit. So we'll take a look at a PlayStation game. Quite a few titles in here. Nice. But what we're going to try is we'll give Crash Bandicoot a run. Ah, cool. So emulation seems pretty slick here. Can't really complain at this. It's a cracking game, is this? But yeah, you don't really want to sit watching me play this all day. So we will throw something else at it, something a bit more complicated. We'll jump in some N64 emulation. Again, stacks and stacks of games. I think we'll give Carmageddon 64 a run. So not sure what's going on here, but it doesn't look too great. There's certainly some issues with what I'm seeing on the display. But once we're up and running, not too bad. I've seen far worse. But that, yeah, I don't know what was going on with that title screen, but there's probably a few changes we can make in the background to get that working a little bit better. This is pretty nicely emulated, if I may say so myself. I think we need to increase the challenge to this device again. So we'll take a look at something else. Going to really ramp it up now. Going to attempt to run some of the Dreamcast games. So I had a feeling it'd be a bit like this. So the games that are on there, pretty much notoriously straightforward to emulate. But we'll take a look at Marvel vs. Capcom 2. A little bit of a pre-warning. I am terrible at fighting games, so please do not criticise my abilities in the comments below. Or do if you like. I really don't mind. We'll try it in turbo mode. Oh hey, did something. Did quite a lot actually. Underestimated my my abilities here. As you can see though, very playable. Looking rather slick. Admittedly, the only 3D going on in this game is the background and some of the text that appears as you play. But it's good. It's fun. And that's what we want, isn't it, really? Let's try something else. We shall go into PSP. And I think this is probably the most challenging system that is in here. Not very many ROMs, which is a bit of a shame, but you can of course add them to the hard drive quite easily. So we'll try Ridge Racer. Nice. So yeah, definitely seems to work okay. Quite slick emulation. No stuttering, no slowdown. Change camera quite easily without any issues whatsoever. That was a nice little slide around there, wasn't it? Hey. Oh, he's here, look. losing control already. It's not to say you won't have fun playing this. Cracking game. And runs rather well. Impressive. So now what I'm doing is booting it up with the micro SD card removed. So very small that. You get an 8 GB micro SD card in there. If you remove it, as you'll see in just a moment, it should boot to Android. There we go. Inside it is an M box, which if you've not come across those before, then yeah, you'll probably recognise this this launcher that'll appear. There we go. So I'll just go grab the media remote that comes with it, and we'll have a look around. If we go into my apps, we'll see what's on there. All right, okay. So you can do like a screen mirroring function there. It's got a Chrome browser. There we go. So it's just identified that the hard drive is connected. So it's asking me what to do. So if I'll just go back. Don't really want to do anything with it. There we go. A few things on there. Kodi comes with Netflix pre-installed. I'm guessing if we try and update this, it won't work. It comes with access to the Play Store as well. So if you want to install any other apps, then you can do. You could use this as a nice TV box as an alternative. Pretty good, dual functionality, not to be sniffed at. Just taking a look at the system info on here. So it's got Android security patch level from August 1st, 2017. So yeah, there's no updates available for this device. Use at your own risk, I guess. So that's it, my review of the Hyperbase FC. Now there's a couple of points I would like to make. Not all of the games on here will necessarily work straight out of the box. Occasionally with emulation you've just got to change some of the settings, but there's tutorials and things online, so if any of the games aren't working, it's quite easy to fix. I quite like the quirkiness of putting the hard drive in the top as though it's a game cartridge. That's pretty good fun. Also like the fact that you've got a choice between using Android and using emulation, and all you have to do is take out the SD card and reboot it. That's pretty slick. Gives you the ability to then start consuming media on it rather than using it as an emulation device. Little bit of a shame that the controllers don't have their own battery. You will go through quite a lot of AAAs if you use this for any length of time. However, you can change the controllers. It's got Bluetooth, so you can use whatever controllers you would prefer. You could even use like an Xbox controller, that sort of thing. So that's pretty good. And that's basically it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you enjoyed the video, click like. If you didn't, click dislike. I don't mind. So I will see you in the next one.